My God, Bird Lady Speaks here, and of course I have Woody here with me who wants to be involved. Now I want to do this video because when most people think about homesteading, they picture like wide open fields, barns, coops, flocks, all different types of animals. But I'm here to tell you that in today's economy and in the uncertain times that we are in, no matter where you are, whether you're in the city or you're in the country, you can homestead. So let's talk about it. You don't need all the extra stuff like land, acres, and all that. All you really need to homestead is a couple of pots, a corner space, and just a will to get it done. What a lot of people don't realize is homesteading is not about how much land you have, how many animals you have. Homesteading is about you being a good steward to what God has already blessed you with. We don't know what's going to happen day to day. This is where our faith comes in. God actually teaches us how to not to fear. But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love and empowerment of a sound mind. He has actually given us the ability, what we need, the measure of faith to trust Him. But faith without works is dead. So we got to do a little bit of work. Homesteading in the city, in a suburban or urban area, is 100% possible. The reason I know is I have done it myself. If you have been following me for a while, you've seen what my homestead looked like when I was in the city. Even if you just have a windowsill, as long as you got windows in your house, you can provide some powerful homesteading things for you and your family. One of the easiest and most rewarding ways to provide for your family is to grow your own food. You don't have to grow everything, but just grow something. One less thing that you have to buy from the store is more money in your pocket that you can put towards something else. Now, I do have a video on container gardening, but I'm going to update that video for you guys, so actually stay tuned for that. Now, this is what I'm going to show you guys what my first garden was in. Excuse my appearance, but this is what my first garden was in. My garden was in just regular flower pots. I grew tomatoes in here. I actually had a banana tree in here. Still have this pot. I recycled it. I actually had a banana tree growing in here. 5-gallon buckets, best friend to a gardener. I actually grew tomatoes, lettuce, and even these are excellent for growing potatoes as well. I had these whiskey barrel containers that I still grow in. My plants actually were knocked over and killed, so that's why this one is empty, but these are absolutely amazing. Now, the best thing that I can recommend that if you're going to do container gardening is going to be grow bags, and I think this is a 25 or a 30-gallon grow bag. It's excellent for growing potatoes, growing anything, and it's a lot more forgiving if you happen to overwater your plants. It's a lot more forgiving for you, and it causes a lot of aeration, but that's going to be for the container gardening video. But this is literally what I use to grow my first garden, is just regular pots and buckets like this. That's all I did. Now, I can honestly say there were certain plants that I had that grew a lot better in pots, like my blueberries. As long as they were in pots, I was growing them in the city in pots, no problem. As soon as I put them in the ground down here, poof, they died. So some things grow better in containers, and it makes it a lot easier because there's less weeding when you're growing in containers as well. So it makes it actually a lot easier. So if you have a patio, or if you live in an apartment or a condo, or you don't have a lot of land, if you have a porch, if you have a balcony, if you have a patio, get you some containers. Get you some containers and grow you some food. Even if you just have a windowsill in your kitchen, grow you some herbs in your windowsill in your kitchen, and that's less money that you'll have to spend at the store buying herbs. I know y'all cook. Now, the same can go for if you like fruit trees and things like that. There are a lot of dwarf fruit trees that you can grow right in a container. And another good thing about growing in containers is if you do plan on moving to another space, it is a lot easier to move things that you spent years or months or however long growing. You don't have to lose that time. You don't have to leave it where they are. Those are some things that you can look forward to. So if you don't let living in the city stop you from growing your own food. Now, my name is Bird Lady Speaks. So not every city allows you to have chickens within the city limits. So definitely check your city ordinances. Now, most HOAs will allow you to have chickens up to, some places said 2, some places said 4. So check with your HOA, see if you have chickens. They usually will allow you to have hens and not roosters because of the noise ordinances. It's roosters that are really, really the loud ones. I do have a video on the best chickens, the quietest chickens to have in a suburban area. So I will definitely link that video for you, and I'm also going to be updating that video as well. You want chickens before the eggs. So you don't have to have a rooster to have eggs. A chicken or hen is going to lay eggs anyway. The only thing that the rooster is good for is fertilizing those eggs if you want to have chicks. But you do not have to have a rooster to be able to have eggs. Even if you only keep a few hens, 2, 3, 4 hens, eventually they're going to pay their way. The more chickens you have, the more expensive that it gets. So if the price of eggs goes up again, bam, you're already ahead of the game because you got a couple of chickens. And once you have chickens and you start eating eggs every single day, you'll be surprised at how fast you really get tired of eggs. Another part of homesteading that a lot of people don't talk about and a lot of people forget about is the preservation side of homesteading. Even if you have a small apartment, you can still store beans, canned goods. All of this is preserving and storing is also part of homesteading. Rice, canned goods, water, and it doesn't have to be when something catastrophic happens. It can be just if there's a civil unrest and you don't want to go to the store. If you're like me, I don't like going to the store, so I store up a lot of stuff so I won't have to go to the store on a regular basis. It isn't about hoarding. When people think about prepping, they think about hoarding. It isn't about hoarding. It's about stewardship. It's about cycling things out. It's like what Joseph did. Joseph stored up grains and he basically saved the entire world for 7 years. Would he come? Now, city homesteading also isn't about what you can do alone on your own. It's what you can do with co-ops, farmers markets, food banks. What I love about homesteading is the partnership and the barter system. Now, building and having a strong homesteading community it actually helps with resilience. Now, the first church in the book of Acts, they actually showed us how to do that. It said they all just gave everything they had and no one had anything lacking. Like there are some people who have more land than they need. They will allow you to keep cows and goats and different kind of animals on their land. They just ask that you maybe do the labor when it comes to these animals and help feed the animals. It actually works out for both sides because if you have goats and cows, if you're keeping those on someone else's land, those goats and cows are going to graze the land. It's going to keep the pastures trim and it's going to in turn give that landowner healthier soil as well. Meanwhile, you gain access to food that you couldn't have because you didn't have the space where you live now. Now, I know it doesn't make much sense now, but I'm going to break it down to you a little bit more. Now, one single cow can give up to 400 pounds of meat. This can feed a family for over a year or more. So subtract the cost of the cow. A lot of places are giving away cows and goats around this time of year because they don't want to feed them over the fall and the winter. Usually all spring, all summer long, cows and goats are going to graze the grass. But what happens to the grass in the fall and the winter? It stops growing. So they have to buy feed for them. So people literally give them away for little or nothing if they charge you anything for them. You will not have to buy beef again for a year or more. Now, if you decide to keep goats on someone else's land, it's not going to give nearly as much meat as a cow would give. It's going to give you about 25 to 50 pounds of meat, but they do reproduce a lot faster. And they can give you, if you're into goat milk, they will give you up to a gallon of goat milk a day, depending on the type of goat that you have. So even if you cannot keep large livestock in the city, you can partner with a homesteader that will allow you to keep that animal on their land, and you can actually reap the benefits of it at a small cost, a fraction of the cost that you pay for your meat and your milk in the store. This is what community looks like when we share the burdens. Now, partnership doesn't just start with meat and land. It can be anything. It can be sewing skills. It can be baking, because like every sourdough starter that I start, I kill it. I don't know how I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But so what I do with people that have goats or goat milk or who are able to actually bake sourdough bread, I trade it out for eggs. They don't have chickens. I can't make sourdough. You give me a loaf of bread, I give you a dozen of eggs. Win, win, win. So what happens if you have carpentry skills? Sometimes people will allow you to keep animals on their property if you give you beef, or give you a cow if you help them build a fence. It's so many different ways that we can homestead and we can partner with one another. It's so much more. Sewing skills. Some people, they don't like being outdoors, but they love to make clothes. And the kind of clothes that I wear, I love, modest type clothing. I know today I'm working outside, so I got on a little shorter shirt than I usually wear, but I like modest type dresses. I don't wear pants, only dresses. So there are some people out there that can sew and that can make dresses. And okay, you want to make this dress for me? I buy the material for the dress. You make the dress for me, and then on top of that, I give you a couple of dozens of eggs, or I would give you some tomatoes, or I'll can up some sauce and I'll do some stuff for you, or I'll do it. The possibilities are endless. So don't think that homesteading just is about keeping animals. There is so much more that goes into homesteading. So much more that goes into homesteading. Sometimes you can actually go to people and you can help them weed, or you can help them water their plants. Because a lot of times when we have homesteads, we can't go out of town. Or we can't go out of town for long periods of time because there's no one to water our plants. There's no one to feed our animals for us. There's no one to do these things. And not all of us have like the automatic waterers and the automatic feeders for our chickens. So sometimes you can help someone who is homesteading. You can help them in their garden and they'll just give you fresh vegetables. That's something that you don't have to buy from the store. And you can learn skills from them as well. They can learn skills from you as well. So partnership is powerful. The first church was modeled after partnership. Everyone brought everything that they had to the table. That's what community is. It's not only sharing burdens, but it's sharing blessings as well. So whether you live in the city or the country, do not wait for the perfect circumstances. There's no such thing as the perfect circumstances. Do not say, I'm going to wait until I get more land. Steward what God gave you now, and he will bless the work of your hands. Trust me, he will. So whether you live in the city or whether you live out in the country, start with what you have. Start where you are right now. It's all about being a good steward with what God has blessed you with, and you will see, if you start to steward what he's giving you now, he's going to bless the works of your hand. If this video encouraged you, please let me know down below. Please, if it did not encourage you, please let me know that down below as well. Do not forget to subscribe for more faith-centered homesteading content. Let's keep working together and let's keep encouraging each other. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And as usual, toodaloo. Bye-bye.